Why do you come? Welcome. In Night City, you can become Dick.
Yeah, like this episode was absolutely amazing. How much both endings to the episodes were kind of obvious. Well, specifically like the actual ending of the episode was really fucking obvious, which I like. They're not trying to beat around the bush and like, oh boy, let's not do the, you know, I don't know, like trying to really convince us about Kenzo specifically. While the end of one of the key members of the Stomach family was an interesting decision. Again, I am interested, okay, what they're going to do moving forward. But having Shoma for this episode for really the first time being really driven to fight a Granute, like, was such an interesting little turn of his character, because he was always kind of happy-go-lucky. He's going to fight the Granute. He's even, in one point, he's going to even try to, like, maybe redeem him and see how he can help him. Here it's like, no, I need to fight it. Was like fucking amazing. And having Hanto by his side trying to kind of say, hey, maybe don't do it now, maybe you need to wait a little bit. It's like, no, I need to. And like, it was weird that just Hanto just has candies in his jacket, again, not escaping the weird creep allegation, while when Shoma returns to Amane's place, he straight up goes to the fridge and was like, hey, I have this cake, I don't know how much time I got left, we need to eat it together, I promised you to do that, we're going to do that now. It was really cool how much it was kind of interesting that he straight off the bat just made the cake perfect straight off the bat. He didn't need to do any redos. I don't know, maybe in the end he will be like Kamen Kaito. No, Kamen Kaito's his actor and just be a pastry chef, because I've recently discovered that. Again, that's nice. While if we kind of divert a little bit to Hanto, he wasn't that big of a deal in this episode, but having him actually starting to learn more about the Granute's world by, once again, Stinger the Granute, not the Granute Stinger, Stinger the Granute. It was kind of cool how much, to be completely honest, the only thing he really learned about is like Stomach King, and he's employed there. Like, to be honest, he learned more last week if we're comparing it to this one. It's like, maybe they should have just reversed it. While also, where the fuck was that bench? But yeah, like having Jeep and Shita around that time be so like focus minded of find fucking Shoma. We want him alive and we want him dead, to the point that they would sacrifice human beings that did nothing to just draw him out. It's like, oh my god, I get it. You were pretty much snubbed by your siblings because they're older, so it's a lot harder to really connect with your younger siblings when you are pretty much an adult. So it's hard. And yeah, their dad was shitty and they kind of like connected all of the dots, and it's like, oh, it's all Shoma's fault, specifically with the dad just talking on the phone. And it's like, no, Dente, you need to make Shoma stronger. If you think about it, Shoma is in a complete disadvantage. He's a half-breed, he's a mixed breed. So like, yeah, like I get it, but having them be like, oh, it's all Shoma's fault, fuck you, and having them kind of do that talk before they fought, before the three kind of fought, was really interesting, because like they say it's like, oh, it's all your fault, and it's like Shoma doesn't say I get your pain. He's like, dude, you killed so many people. You killed my mom. For what? Like, literally, they are unredeemable. And it's so good. And for me, it was satisfying because I felt like the show was going to the point of maybe redeeming the two. And having them to just be assholes. And I'm sorry. Like, I get it. You maybe have a shitty life, but you can also take that shitty part of your life and make it a learning experience. your people the people that were around you and the people that quote unquote affected you in your early life don't need to affect you in your adult life. Like, you can actually change yourself. You can see the problem and not point the problem at other people, which Jeep and Sheeta are doing. And oh boy, it was kind of interesting that like the fight scene in that part of the episode is like they were actually like super like, oh my god, like it's been a day and like Shoma is like fine. And like there was this correlation between like maybe Shoma eating the cake to his regeneration, which would be kind of more interesting, that maybe like food or let's say snacks that you need to make, it's like you made it, is slightly more powerful because like it's not processed that much. And having Shoma finally get that form, like the caking form that we've been seeing for the past 3 weeks, was really fucking cool. And the idea that he also has now minions is genuinely interesting. And that entire fight scene is really cool. So yes, that entire fight scene when he transformed into caking form was really cool. And like, and having Shoma have 2 types of minions, the Kuchizos, which are practically just his transformation device, but also having now his royal minions. It's gonna be interesting, like if like the minion thing is going to kind of like stick just with this form, which would make more sense. It's a royal theme form. He's literally called Cake King. So having any other form, not like having minions, would kind of like lower it down. But like, what the fuck are you going to do with your final form? I don't know. Maybe it's like you could have maybe waited with Cake King. But like that fight scene was great. Like, I love that the minions kind of have a personality. It's like there's a point where like one of the minions kind of like did like a spin around move, and we kind of like go along with Shoma and we kind of quick cut and we see like one of the minions just puking. He's puking rainbow. And like the other minion is like, oh boy, let me grab your hair. I don't know, that was genuinely funny. It's like, oh my god, like you made the Gochizos just suits. This shit is going to be endearing to so many other kids. Was great. And having Shoma before finishing off Jeep and Sheeta kind of like being slightly regretful of what he's going to do and imagining a time where they could actually hang around. Was like, oh man, that's sad. I wish that Jeep and Sheeta weren't 2 pieces of shit. Like, that would have been so cool and so much interesting. And like, if you really think about it, the entire episode was very much hammering it home to like, oh, Sheeta and Jeep were all the time like, we live together, we always have together, like we will be always together. It's like we're not going to be separated. And having Sheeta push Jeep out of the way, and it's like, I'm going to take the brunt for you. And having like Jeep kind of like looking at her, it's like, what the fuck happened to our promise of like we're always going to stick together? Now you're leaving me alone. Which, if you think about it, it's also a piece of shit move. It's like, now you're leaving your sister, your sibling, in a world, specifically now with like Lango kind of going to hear that Sheeta is dead. He's not going to bring Jeep back. Like, the only other person that would probably bring Jeep back is Nilv. And there is a very specific reason why. But it was like so interesting because it seems that Jeep is going to get through some sort of a transformation, because they're now distraught. They're just going fucking nuts. They're starting to cut like the black beads in their hair. So it is going to be kind of interesting. Like, are they going to go like full bald? Are they just going to go like Skrillex type of hairstyle from like, I don't know, 2012? Remember when everybody fucking did that haircut? Oh boy, like I had like at least 3 kids in my class that did that. I was perfect prime position. I was like 9th grade. So it's like, bro, it's kind of funny. Or are they just going to grow it all back, or they going to go with like one full set of hair and like the other side is kind of cut? It'd be weird, but I would like it. But it was such an interesting way to kind of like to have a start point for a character that I thought Jeep and Sheeta were like the weakest links out of the Stomach family. Now they're kind of like separated semi-permanently. It would be interesting to see if somehow they're going to bring Sheeta Shita back, which I would not like it. I think like Shita shouldn't be back. I think it would be better for Gypsy's character for Shita to just stay dead. While it was interesting that just like the cake Guchizo just doesn't die. Like I get it, like the entire like royal theme and there is some like angelic elements to it, but it was so weird. He's just like, oh, it doesn't die. Oh, that's strange. But I don't know, it's really fucking cool. I love it. There is this weird like scene that I found it on X and it wasn't in the episode, so I don't know where the fuck it's supposed to be. But it's like the other Guchizos being fucking confused and for some odd reason Legend appears. Like I don't have a subs. I didn't see any subs to that scene. But that's just fucking odd. Also means that Legend is a draw. Legend is still here, but we don't know why the fuck they're not doing a crossover. Maybe they're just going to do a crossover like in the summer. Like the episode really ends with the show finally stop teasing us who kids are working with, because oh boy, that was so obvious that he's clearly helping and he's clearly working together with Nilv, which I might say Nilv was taught some things by Kenzo, specifically the snatching of living beings. For fuck's sake, what the fuck is both of yours problem? I am interested in how this is going to go. I'm going to talk about it slightly later, kind of around like a minute or two in my overall thoughts of the episode, but I have some sort of an idea. But yeah, like overall this episode was fucking great. It seems that this episode is kind of like the start of very much a complete new one. I really felt like last week's episode was kind of like a middle ground, because I really felt like episode like 12 is kind of the end and like 13 was kind of like a middle portion that is connecting. It's pretty much a bridge between like the first 12 episodes and probably the next 12, and this is kind of how I'm going to look at it. But like yeah, this episode was fucking great. Like I really enjoyed that we got slightly deeper into Jeep and Shita's relationship. I love that we got a little bit of the siblings kind of interacting with Jeep and younger Jeep and Shita. I loved seeing that the shitty dad just kind of like blow them off, and pretty much having Jeep and Shita kind of really believe that, oh, it's all Shoma's fault, show how bad they are as people. They're really bad of really understanding someone's character. I love that Shoma didn't like straight up say, oh yeah, I get you. It's like, no, Shoma was driven. Shoma understands that they are bad people, and having Shoma still dance around like telling Hanto that he's a granute, when like Hanto asks him, it's like, why do you care so much to fight them? We can fight them later. It's like, no, those are the people that killed my mother. And that's like gave Hanto like the icky of like, okay, fine, go fight them, but you promise me that you are going to return, which was fucking brilliant. While Kenzo and Nilv working together, with Nilv stealing one of the Guchizos and Kenzo following Hanto. Okay, like there is some rumors about the third rider kind of being similar to Delta. Like the idea that his suit, like a lot of the, not only Delta, but kind of like the Fies gear, all of the like the Fies gear in the show, it's going to be kind of passed around. Like that's going to be great, because we can get like Jeep as the first user, because I can clearly see Nilv coming to Jeep, understanding that they are in a very bad place, and he forces her, it's like, hey, listen, you can take this and you can fight Shoma. Like I can see them manipulating each other. I can see Kenzo coming to like Hanto, it's like, hey, listen, I have this upgrade. You don't even need the granute parts anymore, but the granute parts will make you stronger. Look, Shoma's a granute. It's like I can see those two slowly kind of like turning everybody against each other. I even see Amane is going to be maybe the primary user of it. Like she's going to always run away from it, kind of like the primary user of Delta. But that would be so fucking cool. Like, because I still believe that Lango is a red herring. Lango is the only like stomach family member that's going to turn face. Like it could be by him hanging out with Amane and he falls in love with her like his dad did, or him being the oldest, he would probably like feel slightly more remorseful for Shoma, and like he never really had any bad intention towards Shoma. He never really hated him, he hated his dad. He kind of hated Shoma's mom because what he believes is the weakness of his own dad. So that's going to be interesting moving forward. But yeah, like this episode was fucking fantastic. I don't give a shit. This episode gets an S+. So let's talk about that K-King form. How the fuck this is the super form of Gavv? Because like you look at the color scheme and it's like this screams final form. From the white and gold like oriented colors, from the crown, from kind of the bejewels on like his pretty much his armor. Like this screams final form. It's like, oh no, this is on the same level. If we go equivalent wise, it's like I would say type formula. Dead heat. It's closer to dead heat from Drive, or like the Genesis forms for a game. That's odd. I don't know. It is weird that just like, you know, the fucking cake Gochizo doesn't die. But also if you really think about it, like having Showa always trying to like needed to make the same cake over and over to make one Gochizo is kind of odd. But it is going to be interesting like moving forward how like the other forms are going to be. Most of like his power-ups are going to be like foods that Shoma makes, which would make sense. And also like the sword's weird. I don't know, like the idea that he like, you know, presses it and it's like, come on, like I don't want to do, I'm probably going to do 2 calm jokes in like 2 different videos, like spending pretty much almost a video after another. It's gonna be sad, but it's gonna be kind of funny. I don't know. But yeah, like I really fucking love this suit. It's my favorite suit in Gavv. I think this is Gavv's like best suit. So what you thought about Gavv episode 14? Comment below, let me know. If you like the video, please like the video. If you haven't helped your subscribe button achieve its true goal of becoming a subscribed button, please do. Please smash that subscribe button. Don't forget, you're the only one that can prevent forest fires. Thank you very much and have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.